South Florida's hot, but making the wrong move here, that'll cost you more than just money. Pick the wrong neighborhood and you could be stuck with sky-high insurance, non-stop traffic, nothing to do, or zero resale value when you're ready to sell. But the right spot, it'll really make you feel at home. It'll feel like you've hacked the system. In 2025, there are places like Lighthouse Point where locals are quietly scooping up waterfront homes while nobody's looking, or Midtown in Miami that's blowing up with new restaurants, towers, and everything you can imagine. And if you think Brickell is just for young professionals, truly think again. This isn't your average best neighborhoods list that you'll find anywhere on Google. And if you're thinking about making the move here to South Florida, what you see in this video could quite literally change your entire home search. But the one neighborhood people are really sleeping on the most, yeah, we're pretty much saving that one for the end, but you're gonna wanna stick around. Before we jump into the list, let me set the stage real quick. This isn't some generic countdown thrown together by a content farm online. The neighborhoods you're about to see come from a mix of local experience growing up here, what I've seen every day with buyers and sellers, and public data from places like niche.com and even realtor.com. Each area on the list checks different boxes. We've got waterfront communities, luxury high-rises, walkable downtowns, and family-friendly pockets that still fly under the radar. And because everyone's lifestyle is just a little bit different, this list is built to show you a range, whether you're after nightlife, new construction, boating communities, or a quiet neighborhood with a great long-term upside. So use this as a starting point, take notes, but do your own research. But if anything does catch your eye, chances are you're not the only one taking a look at it. And if you're seriously thinking about making the move to South Florida, my team and I help people just like you find the right neighborhood every single day. Our info's in the description. You can reach out anytime, day or night. Now, if you want the perfect blend of beach, boating, and a lifestyle that's hard to match anywhere else in the entire state, Fort Lauderdale might be the move. Let's start big with a city that's quietly becoming the go-to alternative to both Miami and West Palm, and that's Fort Lauderdale. Now, if you're picturing spring break crowds or cruise ports, you're only seeing a fraction of the story. Fort Lauderdale today is all about the lifestyle, with miles of canals, booming downtown energy, and some of the best waterfront living in the entire country. We're talking about great neighborhoods like that of Las Olas Isles, Harbor Beach, and even Coral Ridge. Places where you can dock your boat right in the backyard, walk to brunch, and be on the beach in 5 minutes flat. And the growth here, it's real. Massive investments are being poured into the city with new condo towers like that of Umbel, restaurants, luxury hotels, and even branded residences like the St. Regis Bahia Mar and the Viceroy. The skyline is changing and the vibe is starting to feel a little bit more polished. Think Miami energy, but with a laid-back edge. Price-wise, single-family homes east of Federal are typically in the $1.5 million range, with waterfront properties climbing pretty fast. Condos vary widely, with price points in the mid-400s to multi-million-dollar penthouses. And the best part, you don't have to be in the heart of downtown. Neighborhoods like Rio Vista or Imperial Point give you that tucked-away residential feel while still keeping you close to everything. What most people don't realize, though, about Fort Lauderdale is how versatile it is. You've got boaters, professionals, retirees, and even young families. It works for so many lifestyles. And unlike Miami, you're not dealing with the same level of traffic, headaches, or even the pricing pressure. If you're someone who wants a mix of outdoor living, upscale amenities, and year-round sunshine, Fort Lauderdale needs to be on your radar. And hey, if you're already thinking, okay, this sounds exactly like my vibe, this is what I need, my team and I help with that. We know the ins and outs of every corner here, from the beach to the canals. Our info's in the description, so hit us up. But if Fort Lauderdale feels a little bit too fast-paced for your taste, wait until you see what Boca brings to the table. If Fort Lauderdale is where the action is, Boca is where people go to level up. You can just feel it in the air. Boca is different. Boca doesn't try to be loud or flashy. It's the kind of place that truly whispers luxury, but with confidence. The streets are clean, the landscaping is immaculate, and the whole city feels as if it was designed with intention. And in most cases, it truly was. This is the heart of country club living here in South Florida. You've got legendary spots like that of the Royal Palm Yacht and Country Club, Woodfield, and even Boca West, all with championship golf courses, private clubhouses, tennis, pickleball, and resort-style pools. And they're not just for retirees. Young families are actually moving in too, looking for that balance of privacy and a premium lifestyle. Downtown Boca is anchored by Meisner Park, where we're at, a high-end walkable shopping and dining village, great happy hours, steakhouses, boutique shops, cultural, arts, and amphitheater, as well as bowling. That feels like a polished lifestyle hub. A few minutes away, Town Center Mall with stores like Saks, Neiman Marcus, and even Louis Vuitton. Plus some of the best people watching in all of Palm Beach County, to be honest. But it's not all about shopping and leisure. Boca's coastline is also pristine. You've got public beaches like that of Red Reef Park, Gumbo Limbo Nature Center, and some of the nicest beachfront walking paths anywhere in South Florida. And nowhere near as commercialized as other beaches further south like that of Fort Lauderdale and Pompano. And when it comes to the boating, there's Lake Boca, Lake Wyman, and the inlet. Not to mention, the Intracoastal runs right along this city with plenty of homes offering private dockage. Boca's also a big draw for families thanks to top-rated public and private schools. And healthcare, you're covered. Boca Regional Hospital is one of the best in the region and has recently partnered with Baptist Health South Florida. Real estate here really runs the spectrum. East Boca gives you walkability and water access. Think luxury condos and $2 million plus waterfront homes. Head west, you'll find more gated communities, golf course estates, and some new construction options starting in the low $1 million range. There's something for every luxury tier. But what most people don't realize is Boca isn't stagnant, it's evolving. New residential towers like Lighthouse Boca are going up here, right near the Brightline station. Walkable plazas, modern fitness centers, and luxury rentals are drawing in a younger crowd. The city is dialing up the convenience without compromising the feel. And if you're someone who values structure, stability, and that polished but secure vibe, Boca should really be high on your list. And if you want a local to walk you through which communities actually match your lifestyle, reach out. My team helps people like you move here every single day. Our info's down in the description, don't be shy. But now, if Boca feels a little bit too bougie and buttoned up for you, Coral Gables might be your perfect next move. Coral Gables isn't trying to be the next hot neighborhood. It already knows who it is. Nicknamed the City Beautiful, it's one of the most timeless areas in all of South Florida. Think of the Gables as pretty much the Boca of Miami-Dade. Picture Mediterranean-style homes, wide tree-lined streets, and landmarks like that of the Biltmore Hotel and the Venetian Pool that truly feel more European than Floridian. It's upscale, historic, and incredibly well-preserved. But more than that, it's livable. Walkable streets, boutique restaurants like that of Luca Osteria, and Miracle Mile shopping, and then an art scene that adds depth without the chaos of downtown. This is a place for people who truly value elegance and structure. Professionals, executives, families, especially those looking for top-tier schools like that of Gulliver Prep or even Riviera. Real estate here starts around the $1 million price range and goes up fast from there, especially the further east you go. You'll find everything from ivy-covered estates to new construction tucked away behind gates. Coral Gables doesn't chase trends, it really plays the long game. And if that sounds like your pace, I'd love to help you find the right fit. The next up though, a neighborhood where the boating lifestyle is a way of life, and that's Lighthouse Point. If you're all about the boating lifestyle, Lighthouse Point might be your dream neighborhood. This small residential city sits quietly between Deerfield and Pompano, and it's one of those places you either stumble upon or get introduced to by a local. It's not flashy, it's not overbuilt, and that's exactly the appeal. Lighthouse Point is built around the water. Almost every single home here is on it. You've got deep water access, no fixed bridges, and fast routes out to the Atlantic. For serious boaters, it's one of the best setups in South Florida. Many homes here have private docks, and then there's also the marina with great infrastructure that's top notch. But it's not just about the boating. The vibe in Lighthouse Point is calm, tight-knit, and residential. It truly feels like a private community more so than a city. You'll find waterfront parks, walking trails, and even the iconic Lighthouse Point Lighthouse and the Yacht Club, which is a central hub for dining, tennis, pool access, and a full-service marina. When it comes to shopping and dining, it's low-key, but high quality. You're minutes from great spots like the Cove in Deerfield and the Federal Highway, which is lined with boutique restaurants, coffee shops, gyms, salons, and plenty of other options. If you want bigger options though, you're close to Meisner, Pompano, and even Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale. Homes here range from charming mid-century ranches to massive newly built estates with modern coastal architecture. And most lots are oversized. The area has strict zoning that keeps the skyline low and the vibe pretty private. Waterfront homes with direct ocean access can easily run $2 million plus, but there aren't a ton of high-rise condos here, and that's intentional. This is a neighborhood that's built for people who want space, salt air, and simplicity. Lighthouse Point isn't trying to compete with Miami, Fort Lauderdale, even Boca. It's doing its own thing, and if you're into laid-back luxury and daily boating runs to the inlet, this place delivers. But not everyone's looking for quiet canals and yacht clubs. Some people want something a little bit funkier, with banyan trees, historic charm, and a vibe you really won't find anywhere else here in South Florida. If you know, you know. Coconut Grove is one of Miami's most iconic and beloved neighborhoods. This place has history, it's Miami's oldest neighborhood, and you feel that the second that you drive under the banyan trees and canopy-covered streets. The Grove has this laid-back, almost bohemian-type energy, but with a luxury twist. You got waterfront marina culture, sailing, boutique shopping, high-end condos, and some of the most unique single-family homes in the city. It's not cookie-cutter, it's not trendy, it's timeless. And at the heart of it all is Coco Walk, a newly redeveloped open-air plaza with restaurants, rooftop bars, coffee shops, retailers, and one of my personal favorites, El Bagel. It gives the neighborhood a central hub while keeping everything walkable and grounded in character. You'll also find some of the best parks and waterfront green space in all of Miami. Things like Kennedy Park, Regatta Park, and miles of Biscayne Bay shoreline. People walk, bike, take their dogs out, and it feels like a real neighborhood, which is rare this close to downtown. Schools here are another major draw. Coconut Grove is home to several top-rated private and international schools, which makes it incredibly popular with families relocating to Miami from overseas or out of state, like that of Ransom Everglades, which honestly might be one of the nicest schools I've ever been to, both high school and college. Then on the real estate side of things, you've got a mix of everything. Old Florida homes tucked behind hedges, ultra-modern buildings with sleek architecture, and luxury condos with some of the best views in Miami. Entry-level prices for homes here start around $1.5 million and climb pretty quickly depending on the lot size, location, and everything else. Condos, especially new construction, start in the low $1 million range, and this is the kind of place where creatives, professionals, and longtime locals mix seamlessly, and once people move here, they tend to not leave. But if Coconut Grove feels a little too laid back or residential for your taste, the next neighborhood on this list brings energy all the way back up, with polished towers, luxury retail, and a downtown that's really just getting started. There's a reason West Palm is suddenly on everyone's radar. It's not just the beaches. What used to be seen as Miami's quieter little brother has quickly evolved into one of the most dynamic cities in all of South Florida. Spearheaded by billionaire developer Stephen Ross, who also owns the Dolphins, who wants to completely transform it into the Wall Street of the South. You've got a booming downtown, sleek waterfront condos, new tech and finance investments, and an art scene that's earning national attention. Start with City Place. It's high-end, walkable, and it's a plaza packed with restaurants, shopping, co-working spaces, weekend events, and even a gym. Right around the corner, you got Clematis Street, the heartbeat of local nightlife, with bars, live music, great food, and water views just steps away. The Brightline station anchors the city, connecting West Palm, Miami, and Orlando in under an hour. And the recent influx of major businesses and wealth management firms is driving demand for luxury housing across the board. But here's what makes West Palm special. It's an urban and coastal environment. You can live in a high-rise downtown and still be 5 minutes from the beach, or head just west to find historic districts like El Cid and Flamingo Park, full of Spanish-style homes with character and charm. Real estate here really ranges from new construction condos starting in the $1.5 million range to historic estates pushing upwards of $4 million plus. There's a big new wave of residential and commercial development that's bringing even more value and lifestyle upgrades with some amazing projects like the Ritz, the Mr. C Residences, South Flagler House, Alba, and more. The area is attracting young professionals, empty nesters, and investors who just want the walkability of a city, but the pace of Palm Beach County. You're also minutes from luxury shopping on Worth Ave, the arts at the Kravis Center, and waterfront trails that feel more like a resort than a city. West Palm is polished, growing fast, and still has room to rise. But not everyone wants the urban core. Some buyers are looking for a slower pace, stronger community vibe, and a little bit more breathing room between homes. So if that's more your style, the next neighborhood will feel like a breath of fresh air. If South Florida had a best kept secret, Jupiter would be it. And yes, it's still in South Florida, just on the northern end. Tucked up on the northern end of Palm Beach County, Jupiter blends small town charm with an upscale coastal lifestyle that's hard to beat. It's where people go when they want ocean views without the high-rise chaos or tourist traps. The vibe here is relaxed but refined. Locals bike to the beach, launch paddle boards from the intercoastal, and end the day at casual dockside spots like Guanabanas, Utiki, or even the Square Grouper. And yes, the Jupiter Inlet Lighthouse is more than just a photo op, it's the backdrop to everyday life. And you'll find it on everyone's Instagram. But make no mistake, Jupiter has money. From gated golf communities like Admiral's Cove and Jonathan's Landing, to beachfront condos and waterfront estates, the real estate here runs deep. Prices start around $700,000 for townhomes and climb into the multi-millions for homes with ocean access and private docks. What makes Jupiter unique is its mix of nature and neighborhood. You've got great parks like that of Riverbend for kayaking and hiking, miles of beach that still feel untouched, and an A-rated school system that draws in families from across the state. There's also a growing restaurant and retail scene, especially near the Harborside Place, a waterfront mixed-use plaza with dining, boutiques, live music, and even marina access. Everything here feels elevated, but never pretentious. And for those who travel, Palm Beach International Airport is less than 30 minutes away, so you get all the benefits of proximity to larger cities without having to sacrifice the peace and the space. Jupiter is for people who want the South Florida lifestyle without the noise. Boaters, families, and retirees, it works for all of them. But if you're someone who wants to be closer to the action in a city that's rapidly evolving and full of opportunity, you're going to want to see what's next. If there's one city in South Florida that's having a full-blown glow-up right now, it's Pompano, or as some people are calling it, Pampa Yes. 5 years ago, most people probably wouldn't even have driven through it. Today, it's one of the fastest transforming waterfront cities in the entire South Florida area. The city's poured millions into a total beachfront redevelopment, new oceanfront restaurants, the fishing pier, and a beachfront promenade with boutique hotels that are raising the bar for tourism and local living. What makes Pompano so appealing is the mix. You've got direct ocean access, a still growing downtown district, and surprisingly affordable entry price points for waterfront homes, at least compared to its neighbors on the south, Fort Lauderdale, and the north, Boca. On the residential side, there's something for everyone. You've got single family homes east of Federal, older condos with direct beach access, and new luxury developments popping up everywhere. Prices here are moving fast, especially near the beach, with condos starting in the mid $500,000 range and homes with water frontage in the low $1 million range. There's also a lot of investment flowing into local businesses, breweries, upscale cafes, gyms, apartments, and pretty much condo buildings, giving the area a younger, more vibrant feel. But it hasn't lost its character. It still feels like a beach town, just one that's finally getting the spotlight. And if you're someone who wants waterfront living without the Fort Lauderdale or Boca price tag, or you're looking for an investment area with long-term upside, Pompano's growth trajectory should be on your radar. But maybe you're less interested in the beach and more drawn to sleek condos, modern design, and walkable city vibes. If that's the case, the next spot is going to check all of your boxes. This is where Miami starts to get modern, a little bit more creative. Midtown and Edgewater sit just north of downtown Miami, just south of the Design District, and they've become the go-to spots for people who want walkability, new construction, and skyline views without the Brickell chaos. Midtown is built for the lifestyle. Think sleek, high-rise condos, above-ground retail, yoga studios, cafes, and even rooftop pools. You can walk to Trader Joe's, grab brunch at Mandolin, or hit happy hour at Tap 42, all within a few blocks. It really feels like its own little village carved into a greater city. Edgewater, on the other hand, stretches along Biscayne Bay and is all about the views. The high-rises here are modern, amenity-packed, and almost every unit comes with floor-to-ceiling glass and water in the background. It's not as hectic as Brickell or as pricey as South Beach, but it's quickly catching up. The appeal here is the access, but I'd argue Edgewater might even have the best views in all of Miami. You're about 5 minutes from Wynwood's art scene, 10 to maybe 15 from downtown and across the bridge to Miami Beach. It's all central, clean, and full of new development. Prices range widely. Entry-level condos in Midtown start in the mid-600s, while waterfront towers in Edgewater can climb pretty quickly into the multi-million dollars. And with great projects popping up like the Jean-Georges, Villa Miami, and so many more, the continued growth of the Design District demand is only going one way, up. Midtown and Edgewater are perfect for professionals, creatives, and anyone who wants that urban, vertical lifestyle, but want a little bit more space, more light, more flexibility, and more walkability than you'll find in the older parts of town. Still, there's one neighborhood left that takes the polished luxury tower lifestyle and turns it all the way up. You already know the name, but what's actually happening there in 2025 really might surprise you. Brickell isn't new, but what's happening here in 2025 is next level. Once just Miami's financial district, Brickell has fully evolved into one of the most livable, luxury-driven, and walkable neighborhoods in the entire state. Skyscrapers dominate the skyline, and yes, the energy on the street is different and what makes it really feel alive, but this is an urban Miami at full throttle. You've got rooftop bars, Michelin star restaurants, Equinox, luxury retail, high-end grocery stores, 24/7 valet, all stacked vertically within blocks of each other. You could live in Brickell for weeks without ever needing a car. Honestly, you don't need one. And it's just not work and nightlife anymore. Brickell's becoming increasingly residential. You'll find young professionals, couples, and even families living here, especially in the new buildings with kid-friendly amenities, dog parks, quieter residential zones closer to the bay. And then you got Brickell City Center, which changed the game when it opened, bringing a massive retail and entertainment hub to the core. And now with new branded residents like that of the Viceroy, the Baccarat, Casa Tua, and so many more, the bar for luxury has never been higher. Condos here start in the high 400,000s, with mid-level resales, and then eyeing newer front or bayfront units expect to be in the $1 million range. With international money still flowing into Miami real estate, demand here really remains strong, even as the rest of the country could be slowing down. Living in Brickell is all about convenience, luxury, and access. You're about 10 minutes to the airport, 15 minutes to the beach, and in the middle of everything, whether it's business, culture, or nightlife. But here's the thing, Brickell's not for everyone. It's vertical, it's fast-paced, and if you're looking for space or just something a little bit more quiet and peaceful, it's probably not your spot. Still, if you want to be at the center of Miami's transformation and live where the skyline keeps rising and the energy never dips, Brickell isn't just a choice, it's a statement. And now that you've seen the 10 different neighborhoods here in South Florida, which one could you see yourself calling home? 10 neighborhoods, 10 completely different lifestyles. And here's the thing, every one of them is winning in its own way. Whether you're drawn to the historic charm of Coral Gables, the laid-back boating lifestyle of Lighthouse Point, or the nonstop buzz and action of Brickell, there's not a one-size-fits-all answer in South Florida. It all comes down to what fits your pace, your people, and your priorities. But making the right move here takes more than just a list. It takes someone who actually knows the difference between a $2 million view and a $2 million mistake. And my team helps people buy, sell, and relocate across South Florida every single day. We live here, we work here, and we know how fast things are changing. So if any of these neighborhoods hit home for you, or if you're still trying to figure out where you'd fit best, please please reach out. Our contact information is in the description, and we'd be happy to help you make the move with confidence. And hey, if you made it this far in the video, drop a comment and let me know which neighborhood surprised you the most. And if you're serious about learning what it's really like to live in South Florida, hit the next video. We cover neighborhoods, new construction, lifestyle tips, and everything else that you need to know before making the move. Those videos should be popping up on the screen right now for you to tap into.